Welcome Ramley, how are my Rams super fans doing? In just a few short days, we will be watching Rams football. Yes, the 2021 season is among us, and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. We're here today to preview the Chicago Bears at the Los Angeles Rams. Now let's get right into it with the injury report. Now running back Tarik Cohen won't be playing for the Bears. Neither will Danny Trevathan or their offensive tackle, second round rookie Tevin Jenkins. Also, defensive end Robert Quinn is questionable with an ankle injury. On the other side, the Rams look pretty healthy. No major injury concerns. I guess that's what happens when you don't play in the preseason. Now, there are a few questionables on our injury report, but I don't think it's anything serious. I think by the time game time runs around, we'll have a clean slate. What are a few things I'm looking forward to seeing in this game? Obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing how Matthew Stafford plays. I need to see how he plays with his coaching staff, with these running backs, with these wide receivers. This is the time to put up or shut up. All offseason we talked up Matthew Stafford. Now it's time to see how it goes and how he's going to respond to this pressure. I'm also very eager to see how running back Darrell Henderson's going to do being the lead back, and also how the Rams plan to use Sony Michel. I think Henderson's going to be our running back number one, but the Rams brought in Sony Michel for a reason. And in my opinion, it's not just for an insurance policy. I think Sony Michel is going to have a significant role in this offense, and I'm very anxious to see how the coaching staff plans on using both of them. I would also like to see who's Stafford's number 3 target. Is it going to be Deshaun Jackson? Is Van Jefferson finally going to make the jump? Maybe Tutu Atwell. I would also like to see who's going to be Matthew Stafford's favorite target. During the offseason, we heard a lot of talk about Cooper Kupp being Stafford's favorite target, but Robert Woods is so good it's hard to deny him the ball. You never know. It could be Tyler Higbee. And one game might not let us know who his favorite target is, but you never know. I'm also excited to see how the Rams plan on using 3 safeties. I'm under the belief that Taylor Rapp, Jordan Fuller, and Terrell Burgess are going to be on the field sometimes together. And when they are, I'm anxious to see how they're going to be used. My guess is that Taylor Rapp is going to be used a little bit more in the box since he's such a good tackler, but that's just my guess. And I could be wrong. Maybe the Rams don't plan on using 3 safeties at once. I just feel like with the Rams only having 4 cornerbacks on the roster, that kind of means that they're going to utilize the safeties a little more than we expect. Unfortunately, we didn't see them at all during the preseason to get like a heads up on how they might be used. One of the biggest things I'm looking forward to is the Rams defensive line playing against a bad offensive line. I want to know who's going to step up and provide pressure other than Aaron Donald. Could Leonard Floyd finally get pressure and sacks on someone not named Russell Wilson? How about Justin Hollins? According to everything we hear from training camp, he seems to have won the starting linebacker position opposite of Leonard Floyd. Maybe we have something here. I'm eager to see if that translates on the field against a bad offensive line. All right, let's talk matchups now. Let's talk the passing offense against the passing defense. Now, I expect the Rams to have one of the best passing attacks in the league. And with the departure of Kyle Fuller, unless the Rams face some chemistry issues early on, I expect Matthew Stafford to have his way with the Bears secondary. And on the flip side, I can't fathom Andy Dalton having his way with the Rams secondary. I expect Andy Dalton to have a very long day. Now, the rushing offense versus the rushing defense. Now, the Rams rushing attack is going to have to prove themselves this year with no Cam Akers. And the Bears rushing defense is not going to give them a pass. Now, I am a believer in Darrell Henderson, and I do like the Sony Michel pickup. I'm very eager to see how those two are going to work and gel together. Is it going to be a committee? Is it going to be a 1-2 punch? Or is it going to be 1A, 1B? Or is Henderson going to get all the carries? I think these questions will be soon answered, and I cannot wait. Now, Eddie Goldman for the Bears is one of the best run stoppers in the NFL. So let's see how our big fellas can stuff him in the middle. Also, with no Danny Trevathan, that's really going to help Darrell Henderson a lot. Now, due to the Bears having a mediocre offensive line, I really can't picture running back David Montgomery running crazy against us. Now, the Rams linebackers and defensive line is a little different this year. So the only way I can see Montgomery having a success against us is if it takes a little while for our units to gel. Now let's talk the offensive line versus the defensive lines. Now the Rams defensive line is a little different this year. Michael Brockers is out in Detroit, and it looks like Hollins is going to be starting opposite of Floyd. Now I don't think that's a bad thing. I think this change will be really good for us. And on the flip side, the Bears offensive line is projected to be a bottom 10 unit. Now I think they could be a lot better than that. Now I think the addition of Jason Peters is going to help tremendously. As us Rams fans know, you shouldn't sleep on the really old but really good offensive linemen. And it also looks like Germain Ifedi will be healthy and ready to go. Even though I feel like the Bears offensive line might be a little better than what people are giving them credit for, that still doesn't change the fact that I believe the Rams defensive line is going to have their way. Now on the flip side of the ball, going into the season, the Rams offensive line is ranked 8th by Pro Football Focus, for whatever that's worth. This will be a good unit for us all year long as they can stay healthy. And the Bears still have one of the best, if not the best edge rusher in all of the NFL in Khalil Mack. I know his sack totals haven't been super high, but if you check his numbers, his pressures never really take a dip. He's effective year in and year out. They also got Eddie Goldman, who is a problem when it comes to running the ball. He is a run stopper. I think the Rams offensive line versus the Bears defensive line is probably the best matchup in this game. Now let's talk special teams. It's simple. I want to see, is Johnny Hekker gonna get back to being one of the best punters in the NFL? Simple. I know he was in a camp battle. He seemed to win, even though a lot of people think he didn't. Maybe having to fight for his job after having a lackluster season last year will really push him to do better. Let's hope. Another thing I want to see is Matt Gay going to be consistent like he was last year, or is he going to stumble like he has been in the preseason? One of the most frustrating things about being a fan of a football team is having a kicker who cannot consistently make chip shots, point afters. If it's a 50-yarder or shorter, I feel like our kicker should make it 99% of the time. I know that's just me, that's wishful thinking, but man, having an inconsistent kicker is one of the most frustrating things a football team can have. Hopefully we won't have to worry about that, and those few kicks that he missed in the preseason was, you know, just preseason football. I'm also very anxious to see Tutu Atwell returning kicks. I don't know if he's going to be our punt returner, our kick returner, or both. But either way, I think he's electric. I think he's super fast. I think he's agile. I think he's elusive. I think he's one of those offensive weapons that, you know, just give him the ball and let him work. Kind of like a young Deshaun Jackson, you know. So I'm very anxious to see how he is in the open field on those punt and kick returns. All right, let's talk individual matchups. Like I said earlier, I think the best matchup in this game is the Rams offensive line versus the Bears defensive line. With that being said, I'm really looking forward to Andrew Whitworth going up against Khalil Mack. Let's see if Whitworth still has it, which we all know he does. But let's just see how much he has it. Very anxious to see one of the best offensive tackles going up against one of the best edge rushers. Also, I'm very anxious to see our boy Jalen Ramsey go up against Allen Robinson. Now, come on, Jalen Ramsey has shut down several number ones. He played DeAndre Hopkins twice last year. He played DK Metcalf 3 times last year. These are all players who were non-existent when they played against us. I don't see Allen Robinson doing anything against Jalen Ramsey at all. I don't think it's a great matchup, but anytime Jalen Ramsey can just shut a number 1 wide receiver down, I'm anxious to see it. All right, let's talk coaching. On the Rams side, I'm anxious to see how the play calling is going to change now that Sean McVay actually has a quarterback that he can trust. Are we going to see a lot more shots deep? Are we going to see trick plays? Are we going to just explode this playbook open? Are we going to just be a run and gun offense? A hurry up offense? What? I am very anxious to see how this play calling is going to differ from years past. And as far as the Bears go, a lot of fans are already fed up with Matt Nagy. The fact that he didn't put Justin Fields to start week 1 after he had such a great preseason, and he's going with Andy Dalton, you know, fans are already calling for his job. I think he's going to be on the hot seat this year, depending on how they play. I personally think he's probably making a pretty good decision by putting Andy Dalton out there. I think Andy Dalton is pro ready. He's done a lot in this league. He's been to the playoffs. He's had winning teams. He knows how to run an offense. He had a few seasons in his career that were pretty good. Justin Fields was great, but he was playing in the preseason against very simplified defenses. Justin Fields will get the start sometime this year. I think maybe week 1 against one of the best defenses, against a Super Bowl contending team. Maybe hold off on Justin Fields. Let's not crush his confidence right away. So I do think Matt Nagy did make a good decision, but there's a lot of people out there that disagree with me. Now let me give you my prediction. I think with a new quarterback and the offensive starters getting 0 reps in the preseason, I think that offense is going to start out very slow. I think it might take a little time for the defense to gel too. So I don't see the Rams putting up 40+ points and looking like the greatest show on turf right away. But I do think that Chicago Bears offense is going to struggle moving the ball up and down the field, and I think the defense is going to carry us. I think the Rams win 24-13. Hopefully we can get out that game healthy and prepare for a tougher opponent in the Indianapolis Colts. Now, right after this game, I'll be right back here on this YouTube channel recapping what just happened. So please, guys, subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Also, if you could follow me on Instagram, I really appreciate that. And if you want more Rams content, check out this video right here.